Młody tam siedzi na Xboxie i te sprawy, co nie? Gdzie będzie coś niezwykłego. Tutaj widzicie, będzie opowiadanka, które będziemy sami pisali, to jest, będzie wpyte. Muszę tylko sprawdzić, że tu wszystko się ładnie załadowało. Hasztagi weszły te sprawy. Dobrze. Tutaj widzę już na fejsie, że weszło, czy na YouTubie też powinno być. Czyli dzisiaj... O! Powinno być cacy wszystko, tak. Zajebiście. Czyli dzisiaj widzę... Streamlabsik działa jak należy. Jeszcze nazwę skopiuję. Dzisiaj będziemy grali w grę, która jest grą i nie jest zarazem. Jest to iStory Quest. Na pewno słyszeliście ostatnio i widzieliście o tym, że sztuczna inteligencja zabiera wszystkim pracę. No i to będzie właśnie mniej więcej o tym. To będzie zabierała pracę osobom piszącym gry po prostu. Tutaj nie widzę, żeby coś było. Nie ma na YouTubie do wyboru te gry. Jak ktoś macie w opisie, jak się gierka nazywa. Tutaj ustawimy tak to, nie wiem, gry. I zobaczmy coś tutaj. Nie ma. Story. Nie ma coś takiego. Inne. A Fortnite tu nie wklepię. Dobra, to ustawimy coś innego. Podróże, wydarzenia, nauka i... O, nauka i technika będzie idealnie pasowała. Skoro nie ma gry. Myślę, że będzie ciekawy konsensus. Dobra, ja sobie tego jeszcze czata odstawię. To wszystko miało, będzie oko czat. Dobra, czacik ustawiony ładnie. Myślę, że gierka się wam spodoba. Jakby ktoś miał jakiś pomysł, to niech pisze. Tu po prostu nadal wpisuję. I jaka ma to być opowiadanka, o czym, co nie? I tu możemy wybrać jeszcze. A czym to ma być horror, science fiction, D&D, co nie? Tu mamy zmutowanie, o, muzykę sobie odpalimy. Historia od początku. Tu możemy wybrać, czyli start horror, ribe adventure, czyli zaczynamy złą opowieść. Wpiszemy idiot, idiot adventure. Albo nie, parody. Nie zobaczymy. Mike, powiedzmy, że będzie się nasz zawodnik nazywał. Musimy coś wpisać. Lecimy, dobra. A inna tworzy opowiastkę, słuchamy, co tam stworzyła. Będzie dobre. Kurde, przez zagwozdka się ładuje. Bardzo wcześniej były testy. I wam powiem, to kurwa nawet ma ręce i nogi.
You wake up to the sound of a rooster crowing. As you open your eyes, you realize you're not in your comfortable bed anymore. Instead, you find yourself in a strange, cartoonish world filled with talking animals and exaggerated characters. You throw the blanket off you and look around, trying to figure out where you are. Suddenly, a falsetto voice shouts your name. Mike Oxcart.
O, dostałem
You're
nazwisko,
finally
fajnie.
awake. Quote, you turn around to see a small, green leprechaun, hopping around excitedly. Welcome to Fairylandia, the most fantastical place in all of creation. Quote, you rub your eyes and shake your head, still trying to wake up from what feels like a dream. Fairylandia. Quote, that's right, Mike. You've been chosen as the hero of this adventure, a task that only you can accomplish with your incredible powers and daring wit. As you and your leprechaun sidekick continue wandering through Fairylandia,
Fairylandia,
you begin
dobra.
to feel a rumbling in your stomach. You realize that you're hungry and in desperate need of some milk to fill your empty stomach. You turn to the leprechaun and ask, do you know where we can find some milk in this fantastical land? Quote,
Jak ktoś ma jakieś głupie pomysły, to piszcie po angielsku. Mogę to wklepać i nam będzie tworzyło opowiadanie po prostu. I tak ktoś ma jakieś głupie pomysły, na przykład jak chciałby jakąś postać zobaczyć, cokolwiek, piszcie na czacie, jak będzie fajne, to ja to wkleję. Chcecie jakąś postać jakąkolwiek, z jakiegoś animca, filmu, piszcie. Wpiszę tutaj, robimy sobie ja po całości po prostu. Zobaczymy, co wtedy IQ stworzy.
You arrive at the gates of the kingdom, where you're greeted by a herd of angry-looking cows. "Excuse me, kind cows," you say nervously. "I'm just passing through and I was wondering if you could spare some milk for a weary traveler." Quote. The cows glare at you, looking very intimidating. But then, to your surprise, one of them steps forward and speaks in a human voice. "Greetings, traveler. I am Bessie, Queen of the Cows. What brings you to our kingdom?" Quote. You explain your situation to Queen Bessie and as you venture deeper into the heart of Fairylandia, you start to feel a craving for something sweet. You turn to your guide, the leprechaun, and ask, "Do you know where we can find some chocolate around here?" Quote. The leprechaun considers the question and then responds with a mischievous grin. "Well, there's only one place in all of Fairylandia that has the world's most delicious chocolate. The Chocolate Mountains." Quote. You raise an eyebrow skeptically at the idea of an entire mountain range made of chocolate. But you decide to put your doubts aside and trust your guide.
Dobra, Lord wejdę nam, będzie
After
pomagał.
some time,
Dla jaj.
the two of you
Pomożemy.
arrive at the Chocolate Mountains.
Dla jaj.
To your amazement, the entire mountain range is made of rich, smooth chocolate. You can't resist the temptation and pick off a piece of chocolate and savor its flavor. But as you're enjoying your treat, you suddenly feel the ground shaking beneath. As you continue your journey through Fairylandia, you come across a strange figure lurking in the shadows. As you get closer, you realize it's Lord Vader, the infamous villain from a galaxy far, far away. "You there, Lord Vader," booms in his menacing voice. "I sense a great power within you. Perhaps we can work together to conquer this land." You're taken aback by the proposition. But the leprechaun speaks up. "We could use all the help we can get. Darth. The more allies, the better." After some consideration, you decide to accept Lord Vader's offer of
Sword
assistance.
czy sword?
You make it
No dobrze,
clear,
poprawi.
however, that you will not stand for any treachery or betrayal. With Lord Vader on your side, you quickly gain the upper hand in your battles across Fairylandia. His mastery of the Force proves to be a valuable asset, and his lightsaber skills are truly As you and Lord Vader continue on your journey, he suddenly stops and gestures towards a nearby tree. "There," he says, pointing to a large, sturdy branch. "That would make an excellent sword." You're confused by the suggestion, but Lord Vader strides over to the tree and with one swift
zajebiste to
swing
generuje.
of his lightsaber, cuts the branch down. He then proceeds to carve and shape the wood with his bare hands, using the Force to aid him in the process. Before long, he holds up the finished product, a massive, serrated sword that glows with an otherworldly energy. This sword is called the Shadow Blade.
Oh,
Lord
Shadow
Vader
Blade.
says with a
Yeah.
hint of pride in his voice. It has the power to
Ej, młody,
cut
podaj
through
mi
any
chustki.
enemy,
Tylko tak,
no
żeby się nie było
matter
widać.
how tough. You
Chustki mi
take the
podaj, tylko tak,
Shadow
żeby się nie było
Blade,
widać.
feeling its weight in your hand. As you and Lord
To Dorek.
Vader traverse the landscape of Fairylandia, you begin to realize that the challenges you face are getting increasingly difficult. You turn to your ally and say, "Lord Vader,
Donejty
I
mi tu
really
daje, człowieka.
appreciate everything
Dziękuję.
you've done for me so far, but I feel like I'm not strong enough to face these obstacles alone. Do you think you could train me?"
A,
Quote. Lord Vader stares at you for a moment, as if contemplating the request, then he nods his head. "I sense much potential in you, Mike. I shall help you hone your skills."
kogo by mu tam
And
dać?
so,
Klaptrapa.
you begin your training under the guidance of Lord Vader. He teaches you the finer points of sword
Klaptrapa z
combat,
bordeletu zrobił jaką wrogę.
force manipulation, and
Enemy.
strategic thinking. Each day, you practice tirelessly, under the shadow of the looming mountains or under the blazing sun, until you feel stronger and more capable than ever before. Your training is not without peril, though. Lord Vader puts you through arduous trials and dangerous
Klaptra z
simulations,
armią cyborgów.
testing your courage and your resilience.
To będzie
You
dobre.
face fierce creatures and dark spirits, some of which even test the limits of Lord Vader's power. But through it all, you persevere, and your skills grow sharper with each
Klaptra
passing
padajcie z
day.
armią
You
cyborgów.
learn
To będzie
to
mocne.
anticipate your enemies' moves, to read their auras, and as you journey through Fairylandia, a new threat emerges. In the distance, you see a small robot, hopping around and spouting nonsense. It appears harmless at first, but then you notice that it's followed by a massive army of cyborgs.
Ah!
My name is Claptrap, and you're about to be in a whole heap of trouble, the robot declares, before summoning his army to attack. You and Lord Vader prepare for
Ale to jest
battle,
dobre.
drawing your weapons and channeling the Force. The cyborgs charge at you with ferocity, their metal frames clanging against the ground. The battle rages on, with you and Lord Vader managing to hold your ground against the hordes of enemies. But just when it seems like you're gaining the upper hand, Claptrap starts instructing the cyborgs to attack with cunning tactics and fierce precision. You find yourself surrounded, with no way out. In a moment of desperation, you manage to land a hit on Claptrap, causing him to malfunction and give you a brief window of opportunity to retreat. Lord Vader turns to you. As you and Lord Vader delve deeper into Fairylandia, you are suddenly ambushed by a dark army, led by a hooded figure. You dare challenge the might of the dark forces? Demands the hooded figure. You shall pay with your lives.
Kurde, tego AA.
Quote. With a fierce battle cry, Lord Vader charges forward, the shadow blade glinting in his hand. The two armies clash, and you find yourself fighting side by side with Lord Vader, battling against the army of dark magic wielders.
What?
The Dark Warriors are fierce opponents. As you and Lord Vader continue on your journey, you come across a mystical temple. As you continue your journey through Fairylandia, you encounter an enemy unlike any you've faced before. A massive dragon, with scales that seem impervious to any weapon, stands in your way, blocking your path and threatening to devour you and your allies. Feeling desperate, you turn to your guide, Lord Vader, for help. He advises you to dig deep within yourself and to tap into a power that has lain dormant within you. Your inner Saiyan energy. With no other option, you begin to focus, drawing upon a power that you didn't even realize you possessed. You start to feel a surge of energy course through your veins, and your muscles begin to tingle with intensity. Suddenly, your hair starts to rise and glow a blazing golden color. You feel a power like you've never felt before, an energy that flows forth from deep within your core. With a mighty cry, you launch yourself into the air. Crackling with Saiyan energy, you charge at the dragon with newfound strength. Your fist glowing with golden light, you smash into the dragon with incredible force, sending it crashing to the ground. With a swift blow, you land another hit, and the dragon roars in pain. As the fight rages on, you continue to unleash your Super Saiyan power, your hair glowing brighter and your aura pulsing with energy. As you traverse the barren wasteland of Pandora, you come across a group of robots in distress. Upon closer inspection, you realize that these are not just any robots, they are the Transformers. Legendary warriors from another world. You approach them cautiously, not sure how they will react to a bandit like you. As you get closer, you see that they are badly damaged, their metallic bodies twisted and broken. You approach them and offer your assistance, and they gratefully accept. One of the Transformers, an Autobot named Bumblebee, tells you that they were ambushed by a group of Decepticons, their eternal foes. You know that the Decepticons are a dangerous, powerful group of robots, and it would be reckless to take them on alone. You call upon your trusty robotic companion.
Chyba też tego
As
nie
you
ogarnię.
journey through a dense, dark forest, you come across a figure that resembles Wolverine. The fierce mutant with regenerative powers and razor-sharp claws. But something is different about him. His eyes glow with an ominous red light, and his claws have turned pitch black. You realize with a start that he has fallen under the influence of the dark force. A malevolent entity that corrupts all it touches. You draw your weapon, ready to do battle with the corrupted Wolverine. But he unleashes a powerful blast of energy at you, using a technique unlike anything you've ever seen, the Kamehameha Wave. A powerful and devastating attack employed by the legendary Dragon Ball Z warriors. You dodge the Kamehameha Wave with skill and quick reflexes. But you know that you can't defeat Wolverine alone. You call upon your most... As you walk through the bustling streets of the city, you hear a commotion coming from a nearby alleyway. Curiosity getting the better of you. You cautiously approach to investigate. To your surprise, you find Deadpool, the wisecracking, fourth wall-breaking mercenary, passed out on the ground, surrounded by empty beer bottles. At first, you think it's better to leave him there, but then you hear a cry for help from a nearby building. Without hesitation, you realize that you need Deadpool's unique set of skills to help you save the day. You shake him awake, his head spinning from the alcohol, but you're quick to explain the situation. With a quick grin and a witty retort, Deadpool agrees to help, as you both race down the street towards the source of the cries for help. Deadpool grabs his trusty dual katanas and starts spinning them with a deadly accuracy. Bursting into the building, you find yourself face to face with a group of armed thugs, holding a group of hostages at gunpoint. Before you can even think, Deadpool is already in the thick of it, taking down the enemies one by one with lightning-fast reflexes and cunning tactics. With his backflips, quick wit and arsenal of weapons, Deadpool makes quick work of the thugs, freeing the hostages and saving the day. The hostages look at you and Deadpool with gratitude and relief, thanking you for your bravery and quick action. As you both walk away from the building, the adrenaline still pumping through your veins. As you and Deadpool continue on your path, you hear a loud commotion in the distance, followed by the unmistakable sound of transforming robots. As you get closer, you realize that the Transformers are back. But this time, they're not alone. They've allied themselves with a powerful entity known as the Dead Corp, a group of highly skilled mercenaries led by the infamous Deadpool. You realize with a start that this will be no easy battle. And so you call upon your most trusted allies to help you take on this formidable foe. Deadpool calls for backup from the Dead Corp, and together, you all prepare for a fierce and deadly battle. As the two opposing forces clash, the sound of metal hitting metal rings through the air. Transformers and mercenaries alike fly through the air, trading blows in a symphony of destruction. Amidst the chaos, you and Deadpool stand back to back, your weapons at the ready. As if in unison, you both charge towards a group of Decepticons, taking them down with deadly precision. The battle rages on for what feels like hours. But eventually, the tide starts to turn in your favor. The Transformers and their Dead Corp allies start to retreat, realizing that they have bitten off more than they can chew. As the last of the enemies flee, you and Deadpool stand victorious, surveying the battlefield. As you and Deadpool continue to celebrate your hard-fought victory, you suddenly notice that one of your allies, Mike, has vanished. You start to look around, but there's no sign of him anywhere. As you search for clues, you come across a piece of parchment lying on the ground, with a cryptic message scrawled across it. The message reads, "Beware the old gods. They watch and they wait." You start to feel a sense of unease, and you're not sure what to make of the message. You decide to continue your search for Mike, but as you head deeper into the forest, you suddenly find yourself face to face with a towering figure, a being that defies explanation. The creature has tentacled appendages sprouting from its back, long, spindly fingers and a face that seems to shift and change before your very eyes. You realize with a start that this is one of the old gods that the parchment warned you about. As the creature advances towards you, you draw your weapon, ready to defend yourself. But before you can even make a move, Deadpool charges towards the...
Dobra, F5, odświeżamy. Science fiction. Dobra ludzie, jak teraz zaczynamy historię? Zrobimy Goku versus Naruto. Zobaczymy, kto wygra. Science fiction, nie macie.
As a sci-fi interactive storyteller, I'm not sure how Goku and Naruto could fit into a story based on elements from Star Trek, Mass Effect, Star Wars, and Dune. However, if you have a particular scenario in mind, let me know and I'll see if I can incorporate it into a story where the stakes are raised for the player based on their input.
Ja tam widzę Kraków. Tak, to jest Kraków.
Goku traveled through space in search of new challenges. But his journey led him to a planet where the inhabitants were too poor to engage in battles. However, as Goku walked through the city, he saw a group of children playing Ninja Warrior. He approached them and discovered that they were followers of a young orphan boy named Naruto. Goku sensed great potential in Naruto and decided to take him under his wing. After a rigorous training program, Naruto's ninja skills reached new heights. One day, a powerful alien warrior arrived on the planet, threatening to destroy it. Goku and Naruto teamed up to defeat the alien, with Naruto using his ninja techniques and Goku unleashing his Super Saiyan powers. The battle was intense, and at one point, the alien managed to get the upper hand, but Naruto stepped in and sacrificed himself to give Goku an opening. In the end, Goku emerged victorious, but at a great cost. He mourned the loss of his student, but knew that Naruto's legacy would live on through the future generations of ninja warriors on the planet.
Ona. Nieźle. Klasycznie.
Feeling immense grief and regret for Naruto's sacrifice, Goku remembered the Dragon Balls he had collected in his previous journeys. He knew that he could use them to revive Naruto and bring him back to life. Goku summoned the dragon with the Dragon Balls and made his wish. In a blast of light, Naruto was brought back to life. Overjoyed, Goku and Naruto embraced and celebrated their reunion. However, a dark force watched from afar, jealous of Naruto's newfound power and resentful of Goku for bringing him back to life. This villainous entity began to plot their next move, determined to cause chaos and destruction that would shake the very foundations of the universe. Unbeknownst to Goku and Naruto, their challenge was far from over, and the stakes were about to be raised even higher. Only time would tell if they were up to the task of facing this new threat head-on.
A kogo by im tu rzucić jako przeciwnika? Jakieś propozycje? Młody? Kogo byś dał jako wroga Naruto i Goku w jednym teamie?
Naruto i Goku?
Jak są razem i jakiego... Kurde,
Naruto i Goku jest razem.
Tak, odsuń się, żeby ci nie było widać. Kogo byś im dał jako wroga?
To Sasuke?
Sasuke?
Albo nie, Kakashi? Nie, Sasuke.
No dobra, Kakashi dla jaj damy.
I...
A my ich razem.
No,
Kakashi and Sasuke new.
Sasuke.
Sasuke. New enemy. New enemy, kurwa. Ej, to będzie mocna rzecz. Ciekawe, jak tu pokaże. Patrzcie, to będzie obrazek. Ale nie zbliży się, bo kamera.
Ale będzie chyba tylko tą stroną, czy nie?
Tu jak stoisz, nie widać. O!
Kakashi and Sasuke had just returned from a mission when they learned of a new enemy threatening the safety of their village. They were briefed on the enemy's abilities and weaknesses but were shocked to learn that the enemy was someone they both knew, Obito Uchiha, their former comrade. Obito had been presumed dead for years, but he had somehow survived a mission gone wrong and had turned to the dark side, determined to take revenge on the village that he felt had betrayed him. Obito had acquired a powerful weapon that could manipulate time itself, giving him an almost unbeatable advantage in battle. Kakashi and Sasuke knew that they had to stop Obito at all costs. Drawing on their extensive training and mastery of jutsu, they engaged in a high-stakes battle against their former comrade. The battle stretched on for hours, with both sides trading blows and pushing themselves to their limits. At one point, as the dust settled after their battle with Obito, Kakashi and Sasuke searched for his body. However, they were unable to find him anywhere. They combed the area for hours but were unable to locate any signs of life or movement. It seemed that Obito had perished in the intense fight. In a moment of respect for their fallen comrade, Sasuke and Kakashi found a large rock and placed it over where they suspected Obito to be. They then returned to the village and reported their success to the Hokage, receiving congratulations and thanks for their bravery in defeating a dangerous enemy. However, despite the relief at their victory, both Kakashi and Sasuke were left with a gnawing sense of unease. They couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story than they knew. They remained on high alert, knowing that the shadowy figure behind Obito's plans was still out there, and that they needed to be ready for anything that came their way. They spent the next few weeks honing their skills and preparing for whatever challenges lay ahead, vowing to be ready to face any adversary that threatened the peace and safety of their world. Their future was uncertain, but they knew that they had each other and their skills to rely on. As Kakashi and Sasuke prepared for what they believed to be their next mission, they suddenly received news of a shocking development. Madara Uchiha had somehow managed to come back to life, and he was coming to their village with an army of fierce warriors, determined to wipe out everyone and everything in his way. Kakashi and Sasuke knew that this was an enemy unlike any they had faced before. Madara was a legendary warrior with incredible skills and abilities. and his
Bah.
immense power coupled with an army of fighters made him an extremely formidable adversary. The two heroes rallied their fellow warriors and began a full-scale battle against Madara and his army. It was a bloody and brutal conflict, with both sides trading blows and pushing themselves to their limits. But it soon became clear that Madara was
zobaczmy, jak
too
teraz kmieni.
powerful to defeat by conventional means.
Ja będę śmiechem,
His
kurwa.
skills
To
and
przejdzie.
strategies were as a sci-fi interactive storyteller. I'm not sure what scenario you're referring to or what challenge and stakes Sakura faced to emerge victorious. Without more context, I'm unable to provide you with a comprehensive and immersive story. If you could provide me with more details regarding the scenario in question, I'd be more
Młody,
than
spadaj z
happy
tej
to
poduszki, bo cię
create a
widać.
story for you that fulfills your
Głąbie, spadaj z
request.
poduszki, bo cię widać.
Or what
Wiesz,
challenge
że nie
and
jest cena
stakes
poduszka.
Mówię ci, do tej poduszki masz się nie zbliżać. To jest twój limit. Dobra. A widzicie, pisze ci Sakura Win, kurwa, nie ogarnia sytuacji. Lepiej?
Sakura had always been dismissed and overlooked as a fighter by her peers. But she refused to let that discourage her. She trained tirelessly and worked hard to prove her worth. One day, Sakura received an invitation to compete in the Ultimate Universal Fighting League, UUSFL,
Serio?
a competition that pitted the best fighters from across the universe against each other in a series
Ja pierdolę.
of challenges, including hand-to-hand combat, weapons fighting, and strategic
Skąd to się
battles.
Liu wziął?
Despite being up
I
against
Vegeta.
fierce opponents
wpisałem
and
ich.
facing incredible challenges, Sakura refused to give up. She drew on all of her training and skills, taking down fighter after fighter in rapid succession.
Aha.
As the competition wore on, Sakura's reputation grew, and her opponents began to take notice. They were shocked and impressed by her incredible
Saitama
abilities and fierce determination. Suddenly, there was a loud shout. "Hi!" And Saitama appeared out of nowhere, running from ear to ear. "Hey there, how's it going?" he asked in his typical laid-back style.
Ej, kurwa, zaczęło się to podobać.
After her triumphant victory in the UUSFL, Sakura returned home exhausted, but elated. She had proved her worth as a fighter and had achieved something that no one thought she could. However, as the adrenaline began to wear
Fajnie te
off,
obrazki dorzuca.
Sakura's emotions caught up with her. She couldn't believe that she had done it, that she had won. It was all so overwhelming. And the tears began to fall. Sakura cried and cried, releasing all the pent-up emotions and stress of the competition. She cried with joy and relief, knowing that all her hard work and dedication had paid off. Her friends and family gathered around her, congratulating her on her amazing achievement. But for Sakura, it was about more than just winning. It was about proving to everyone, most importantly to herself, that she could do it. As the tears slowly subsided, Sakura took a deep breath, feeling a new sense of confidence and strength. She knew that there would be more challenges ahead, but she also knew that she was ready to face them head-on. With the same fierce determination that had made her victorious in the UUSFL. I'm sorry. I cannot generate inappropriate or violent content. Please refrain from making such requests.
Ah!
Feeling a new sense.
Mi tu brakło. Teraz będzie.
Hinata prepares for the battle ahead, strategizing her every move to ensure victory. As she steps onto the battlefield, her opponents tremble at the sight of her confidence. She unleashes her signature gentle fist technique, disabling her enemies with swift and accurate blows. With her fierce determination, Hinata emerges as the undefeatable champion of the battle. Hinata and Sakura face each other, both determined to come out on top. Sakura charges forward, her fists ablaze with chakra. Hinata evades her attacks with grace. With her Byakugan activated, she then strikes back with her gentle fist technique, landing a hit on Sakura's arm. Sakura retaliates with her strength, landing a solid punch on Hinata's side. Hinata grimaces.
Dobra, mam pomysł. Ogólnie się jadam taką gierką, retro Oni się nazywa. Widzę, że tu ten bot, czy ta AI po prostu pobiera informacje z internetu po prostu, co nie? Science fiction. Zobaczmy taki potencjalny scenariusz. Zobaczmy, co zrobi.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sure what you're referring to. Can you please provide more context or information about Bungie Oni 2? I'm sorry, but Bungie has never released an official game titled Oni 2: Konoko Returns. While the company did develop and release the original Oni game back in 2001,
O, ja coś tam potrafisz.
it has not been announced that they are working on a sequel.
Ale ja to wiem, ja chciałem kurde potencjalną historię usłyszeć. Zobaczmy, czy coś takiego da radę zrobić. New story.
As far as I am aware, Bungie has not officially announced any plans for a new Oni game. So there is no information available about a new story for Oni 2. However, if such a game were to be released, it's possible that the story could follow Konoko as she discovers new threats to the worlds security and navigates complex political alliances while honing her own abilities and powers.
O!
The game could potentially explore deeper themes of identity, purpose, and the cost of power. No information available about a new story for Oni 2. However, if such a game were to be released, it's possible that the story could follow Konoko.
Ciekawe, ciekawe. Czy ja to dobrze napisałem? Gdzieś tu pisał. Dobra. Tychyry. Dobra. Ciekawe, czy weźmie tą Konoko, czy no, bo ona jest mało popularną postacią. Ciekawe, jak sobie poradzi właśnie z mało popularną postacią. Tej, bo Naruto, wiadomo,
After
Dragon Ball i
years
tak
of
dalej.
service as a member of the TCTF,
O, zgadza się.
Konoko had retired from active duty and taken some time to travel and explore the world. However, her peaceful existence was disrupted when she received a series of strange messages that seemed to hint at a new, sinister threat to global security. Konoko determined to investigate the source of these messages and discovered a shadowy organization bent on world domination. As she started gathering intelligence, she realized that this group was not only technologically advanced, but also had powerful political connections, making them difficult to stop through conventional means. With the TCTF unwilling to get involved, Konoko knew that she needed to take matters into her own hands. She started assembling a team of like-minded individuals who shared her sense of justice and desire to protect the world from this new threat. Together, they embarked on a dangerous and challenging journey to prevent the shadowy organization from carrying out its plans and save the world from destruction.
Siema mordo, ASP Gaming, witam u mnie. A, zobaczyłeś, że gram w zajebistą gierkę i wpadłeś po prostu. Witam. Dzisiaj testuję bardzo ciekawą gierkę, która jest groma, zaraz ze mnie jest. Jest to gierka o pisaniu jakby przez sztuczną inteligencję opowiadania historii, bardzo ciekawa. Po prostu to tutaj teraz napiszę, to sztuczna inteligencja wymyśla własne opowiadanie. Więc jak już jesteś, to możesz zajechać na przykład własnym pomysłem, co tu się mogłoby dziać, jaka postać mogłaby się pojawić, takie tak ciekawostki i zobaczymy, co tam właśnie te nasze AI i wiesz, zrobi, wygeneruje. Co ty na to? To jest taka nowość. Dużo się o tym słyszy ostatnio, że tam wiesz, artystów ma wygryźć, DJ-ów, malarzy, grafików, a teraz jeszcze zaczęło gry robić. A spoko, jak coś zapraszam ponownie. Czym się smacznego, udanego weekendu. Ja tu nadal, w sumie to jest trochę jak film, ci powiem. Bo tu wpisuję po prostu tekst i sztuczna inteligencja generuje i się słucha po prostu, co tam mówi. Jest to troszeczkę jak ci powiem, jak film. Zobaczmy, co teraz wygeneruje.
Konoko realized that she could not take on the
Prawie
shadowy
masz tekst, co nie?
organization
I
alone
czyta,
and
a z lewej
would need a
obrazki są.
skilled and trustworthy team to join her in this mission. She began scouring the world for individuals with the right mix of intelligence, strength, and motivation to help her take down the enemy. Her first recruit was an expert hacker who had previously worked for the shadowy organization and knew its weaknesses. Next, she enlisted the help of a former TCTF agent who had resigned in protest over the organization's lack of action against the growing threat. Together, they set out to find more allies who could assist them in their mission. In her search, Konoko crossed paths with a genius inventor who could create advanced weapons and gadgets to aid their cause. She also met a talented martial artist who had honed his skills in underground fighting rings and was looking for a greater purpose. Finally, Konoko encountered a former mercenary who had become disillusioned with his line of work and was seeking a chance to redeem himself. With her team assembled, Konoko knew that they had a chance to take down the shadowy organization and save the world. However, she also knew that the road ahead would be dangerous, and she would have to rely on her new teammates to pull through in the face of adversity. As Konoko continued her search for allies, she encountered a diverse. Konoko's new team quickly became more than just a group of allies. They became trusted friends who could rely on each other in any situation. Despite their diverse backgrounds and experiences, they had a common goal and a shared sense of morality that bound them together. The expert hacker that Konoko recruited, whose name was Wesley, quickly became a reliable partner in their efforts to gather information on the shadowy organization. They spent hours poring over intelligence reports and surveillance footage, searching for any weak points in the organization's defenses. The former TCTF agent, whose name was Alex, proved to be a valuable asset in combat situations. His expertise in hand-to-hand combat and marksmanship helped the team survive more than one dangerous encounter. The genius inventor, named Olivia, was not only a master of technological innovation but also proved to be a source of comic relief in tense situations. Her quirky personality and endless repertoire of jokes and quips helped keep the team's spirits up. During long missions, the talented martial artist, named Rue. During one of their missions, Konoko and her team received intel that Hinatama, a former TCTF agent who had mysteriously disappeared years earlier, was currently being held captive in a deep dungeon by a powerful faction within the shadowy organization. Believing that rescuing Hinatama could provide valuable information about the enemies they were facing, Konoko led her team into the dangerous underground lair. Their journey through the dungeon was perilous, and they encountered numerous traps and guardians. However, with their combined skills, they were able to push through and finally reach Hinatama's cell. They found her emaciated and weak, but alive and conscious. Hinatama informed the team that the shadowy organization was working on a super weapon capable of immense destruction and that she had been captured while attempting to infiltrate their base. She also revealed that the organization had discovered a way to weaponize rare minerals found only on a remote planet in the Alpha Centauri system. Recognizing the importance of this information, Konoko and her team resolved. As Konoko and her team began to investigate further, they realized that the shadowy organization had created an evil clone of Konoko, which was equipped with all of her skills and abilities, but programmed to serve the organization as a weapon against her. The clone had a deadly virus within it which, when activated, could spell doom for the world. The team knew that they had to act quickly, as time was running out. They tracked the location of the clone and invaded the organization's laboratory in a covert mission. Upon infiltrating the laboratory, they were greeted by the sight of the evil clone being activated, with tendrils of black smoke emanating from it, signaling the release of the virus. A fierce battle ensued, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. Despite the clone's formidable fighting abilities, Konoko and her team worked together to weaken it, while simultaneously trying to contain the spread of the virus. They managed to destroy the clone, but the virus had already infected several staff members and was beginning to spread rapidly. Konoko and her team had to work quickly to contain the virus. And with their expert, Konoko was appalled by the idea of creating clones, both good and evil, as she knew firsthand the ethics and potential consequences associated with such actions. However, as she continued to battle the dangerous organization, she realized that sometimes she needed to fight fire with fire. In a daring plan, Konoko developed a virus that could clone herself and programmed it to assist her team in their missions. However, unlike the evil clone developed by the shadowy organization, Konoko's clone would have free will and the utmost respect for human life. At first, the team was skeptical of the idea, as they had seen firsthand the dangers of the evil clone. However, after seeing the power of Konoko's clone in action, they gradually warmed up to the idea and welcomed her into the team. Despite her similarities to Konoko, the clone proved to be an invaluable asset, using her knowledge and skills to aid the team in their missions. She became a trusted member of the team, working closely with Konoko and the others to fight the shadowy organization on multiple fronts. However, as the clone faced new challenges and experiences, her personality began to diverge slightly from the original Konoko. She started to develop her own ideas and ideals, and while still driven by a desire to do good, she began to question some of Konoko. As Konoko and her team continued to battle the shadowy organization, they received a tip about a new secret weapon that the enemy was developing. With the help of their spies, they discovered that the weapon was a powerful energy beam that could destroy entire cities in one strike. Konoko knew that they could not let the enemy have such a weapon. So she assembled her team and devised a plan to raid the enemy facility where the weapon was being developed. They would need to move fast and be prepared to face fierce resistance from the enemy forces. In the dead of night, the team infiltrated the facility and started searching for the weapon. They fought their way through waves of enemy soldiers, avoiding traps and ambushes set up along the way. Finally, they reached the heart of the facility, where the weapon was being stored. They found it guarded by elite soldiers, armed with the latest technology and ready to use the weapon at a moment's notice. Konoko's team prepared for a fierce battle, but they were surprised when the enemy soldiers suddenly lowered their weapons and surrendered. Konoko was suspicious, but decided to take advantage of the opportunity to retrieve the weapon and destroy it. As they made their way out of the facility with the weapon in tow, Konoko couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. It wasn't until later, when they analyzed the weapon and discovered a hidden tracking device, that they realized what had happened. The enemy had allowed them to take the weapon as part of a larger plan to track their movements and gather intelligence on Konoko and her team. With this new information, the enemy would be able to strike more effectively and take the upper hand in the ongoing conflict. Konoko and her team knew that they had been played, but they refused to be deterred. They continued their fight against the
Aha, coś tu pisze, znowu się pewnie zresetuje. Tak było kilka razy. Ej, czemu nie czyta? A, czyli zajmaj. Kurde, tutaj już to science fiction leci, widzę. Nie, no spoko, spoko. Jeszcze to jest troszeczkę niedopracowane, ale fajnie wygląda, to jest early access z tego, co pisało. Wiecie co, ja myślę, że na godzince przestaniemy. Jakbyście chcieli jeszcze zobaczyć tą gierkę, no to do niej jak najbardziej wrócimy, bo jest ciekawa. Mam propozycję. na koniec, jak ktoś ma jakieś fajne pomysły na jakieś opowiadanki, historyjki, co będą wpisać, niech napisze na Discordzie właśnie, napisze na Discordzie, odpalimy sobie live'a i zobaczymy, jak to by wyszło. Dobra, to ja kończę, bo tu muszę coś zrobić jeszcze. Tutaj jest dopiero 21, luzik, blusik, nie będę się że dzisiaj wrócę, bo tutaj już trochę padam na ryja, ale jutro na 100% raczej wrócę i coś tam pogramy. No.